We'll just toss out top of the hour. Racing across America with the nice stakes day down at Gulfstream that we'll be going over. We'll also be getting some opinions from your colleague down there, Acacia Courtney. She will join us at the top of the hour. But I wanted to mention, since you brought up Saffie Joseph, we'll also be visited by Dale Day, who is the announcer out at Remington Park. They wound up their season last night. They had a nice stakes card highlighted by the Springboard Mile. And Saffie sends up a two-time starter, two-time winner. Make It Big gets it done in the Springboard Mile with Jose Ortiz, who shipped in for a very big night out at Remington yesterday. So Saffie not only proficient down there in Florida, but shipping out to get the big purse out at Remington last night.
Yeah, Savvy does a great job. He's got Shifty She down here today at Gulfstream, but he took her up to New York and she won the Noble Damsel last time. And Saffy's everywhere. You know, he was at Monmouth this summer as well as Saratoga and certainly, obviously, Gulfstream Park. He does a really, really good job throughout. So, no surprise picking his spots. I know he sent some horses up to Churchill for the fall meet as well. So kudos to him. He's just got the numbers and he does a great, great job, delegating and sending them here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, it was a couple of years ago where he started to make noise on the scene, and you could see that it was time to branch out, and he has, and has, had some strings at some of the other venues and starting to make noise there as well. All right, ready to jump in? I will tell people, I pulled up the page. If you go to Gulfstream Park, their website, click on racing, and then down the right-hand side of the page, there is a Beat the Expert link. And today, people can try to beat the expert. My colleague right there, Brian Nadeau, the expert, this afternoon. What is your confidence level? You going to keep people from winning those polo shirts?
The confidence level is pretty good. I was very slow into stride at the meet, but I picked it up, gave up the pick 5 yesterday. Late pick 5 on an $8 ticket. So the confidence level couldn't be higher. I don't know what that means come 12 o'clock in the PM, but the confidence level couldn't be higher after I've gained some traction in the last few days. And then, like I said, I gave out that late pick 5 yesterday on an $8 ticket that paid like $952. So that was pretty cool.
So that you can't do better than that. $8 kicking up to 900 and something. But yeah, Gulfstream runs it every week and cycles the handicappers through. Brian's this week to Beat the Expert. If you go to the website, you fill out your picks. Again, there's a Beat the Expert link. You fill out your picks in each race. You go up against Brian, and then the winners, if there are people who beat Brian, they're in a pool and they choose, and some folks can walk away with a nice little polo shirt. So folks can take that shot this afternoon as well. But let's get some ideas of where you're going on this Saturday afternoon. Let's kick it off in the opener down at Gulfstream. Maiden special 2-year-olds going 5 on the turf.
Yeah, I've got an 8, 2, 3, 4, Seth. We'll give those one-sheet selections. And Victor Barboza's got Mogaloo drawn nicely on the outside, flash speed and tire just a little bit on debut over the Tapeta. So you would think the turf's not a problem here. You have to have speed going 5 furlongs on this Gulfstream Park turf course, and Mogaloo showed it on debut. And I think this son of Twirling Candy's in a good spot. Our buddies at West Point have Bourbon Ready down inside with Todd Pletcher and Luis Saez, and you would think this horse is going to be fast. The post could be trouble, if you break down inside and you don't break. You run the risk of just getting swept up by the rest. But I would think Bourbon Ready, no pun intended, is ready. They paid over $300,000 for this son of More Than Ready. So, obviously there's a lot of turf in this pedigree. Number 3, Jack Backed for Dane Kabisky, ran very, very well on debut over the turf at Keeneland. That was in April, then was off until October on a dirt run at Keeneland. Didn't work out, but now we've got that tightener. We're back on the preferred surface. So I think Just Bat is in the mix too. So we'll go 8, 2, 3, 4 in the opener.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun race. Trombetta has straight time getting to the turf. By Not This Time, a little breeding there. And I thought Jinxed on the outside was interesting for Mark Cassie. Had a sibling that won a debut effort over in Ireland. So it's a fun opener today at Gulfstream. Second race, we are looking at maiden claimers on the synthetic at about 1.70 miles.
Yeah, it's just 2-6 here, Seth. I mean, Ukiyo, I don't have the morning line. I printed early, but
six to 5.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You look at the 2 Tapeta races going along for this one, and they're just better than anything remotely close to the rest of these fillies have done. She looks to be in a very, very good spot. Edwin Gonzalez, who maybe struggled at the start of the meet, has gotten going the last few days. That's good to see. Nice guy. Good rider, too. And then Only Time is underneath. I'll say this. We use these progressive handicapping from Jim Mazer. And not this time. The sire of the 6, Only Time, gets an A+. So take that for what it's worth. But, anytime you can get some good stats on the Tapeta, I think it's beneficial because as I say each and every day down here at Gulfstream Park, where everybody's kind of finding their way on the Tapeta, and you get a little extra nugget like that. It's beneficial. Number 7, Mountain Bellatrix. Number 3, Magic Surprise in the mix. But I think Ukiyo is a very, very likely, very, very logical single in the early pick 5 and to kick off the early pick 4.
Sounds good. Let's turn the page to race number 3. Bottom level conditional claimers. The tag, 6,250. The condition, non-winners of 3 lifetime. The trip, 3/4 of a mile.
1-4 over the 6. Paco Lopez back after a 3-day mini vacation. He served 3 days, and now he's back. And Paco's in good form down here, and he's aggressive, and he takes it right to you, and he puts other people in tricky spots because he's always aggressive with his horses, and it's kind of the damned if you do, damned if you don't. Paco's going. Do I want to go with him and risk, zapping my horse late, or do I not want to go with him and risk letting him run off and not coming back because he's such a strong finisher too? So Wicked Temptations look good to me. On the class drop, ran a 9 last time on the Thoroughgraphs, and that's a number that'll be really problematic for these horses if he runs back to it. Excuse me. Doo-Wop Don underneath in second has just absolutely aired in his last 2. He ran a 6 last time. Now, can he get back to that number? I don't know. Off the claim here. For a barn that doesn't really typically start a lot of horses down here, Enrique Amando, but is 2 for 11 off the claim. Take that for what it's worth. This one was claimed from a kind of we'll call him an unknown down here a little bit, Ronaldo Yanez barn. So I don't really know if you can get improvement or what's going to happen here. But if this one runs back to that win last time, it's going to be really, really tough to beat right back. And then large underneath for Kelly Breen. Rafael Hernandez is down here, and he got a win the other day. And if you're not familiar with him, I know you are, Seth, and probably a lot of our friends back home are, because he rides at Woodbine and Capital. We've always had a close relationship with those guys up there at Woodbine. He does a really, really good job. So take note of him. He's going to win races down here this winter. So take note of who he's on. He got one the other day, and he'll get a lot more.
4th race this afternoon, a maiden claimers, $25,000 tag, 6.5 furlongs is the distance.
I went outside, 8174, Shady Capture for Carlos David. He's solid enough on debut, 16%, but then you look at the sample, second-time starters, he's 9 for 25, 36%. So, that's a big, big angle. The blinkers go on here. We dropped from a Florida-bred maiden special weight that was won by a runner that just ran off the screen, Simplification. And now we're in for a tag. We're in for a quarter, and I think that's probably going to be the end-all, be-all for this one on the drop. Looks very, very good to me. I expect this one to be closer, too. Didn't really break on debut and dropped out of it. Let's hope that changes today with the blinkers going on. Down inside, ruling front on a maiden special weight drop. That should help, too. And this one has shown speed, and that's the biggest angle in racing. Not only a maiden special weight drop, but a maiden special weight drop with a runner that has shown speed, and that's certainly what Ruling Front has done. Valiant Avenger, second time out for Ralph Nix. Number 4, Knight's Bird, third time out for Eddie Plesa Jr. He's got to prove it on dry land, but really woke up in the slop last time. We'll go 8-1, 7-4 in the 4th, Seth.
We kick off stakes action in race number 5 with the Shawnee River, a grade 3 event, $100,000 up for grabs. It is a flat mile on the grass.
This is my long shot play of the day, number 4, Keeper of Time. We'll call it 4-3, 7-2, 11. You can get the feel that I have no strong opinion. I think it's a wide open race. Keeper of Time really, really woke up last time at Belmont for Brendan Walsh. She's stepping up now and facing older and into a grade 3. So I get the waters are deeper here. She ran a 4 last time, and that's a number that plays with this group. She's still got upside off just 9 starts. She's only run 3 times in the United States. I just kind of hope that Brendan's starting to get a feel for this filly. And now she's going to get another turn to work with. She's well drawn in here too. And, I think Shifty, she's, excuse me, horse to beat for Safi, and she is 4 for 6 over the Gulfstream Park turf course, and she's very nice. She's 5 for 9 at the mile, but, she's not overwhelming, Seth, and she doesn't have a big edge over the rest of these on paper. So I put her in second. I respect her, and, to me, she is the most likely winner, but it's not by a good stretch. So I tried to beat her a little bit. Alms on the comeback for Mike Stidham. Third start off the long layoff, and she's moving forward, and she's in the mix here. Down inside, Shugs got in the hurry. We saw her schooling in the paddock the other day. She looked really good. Shugs off to a good start at the meet, and then Princess Causeway will like getting back to the turf, so I think she's a player in here too. This is tough, Seth, to end the early pick 5. I goes 4-3, 7-11. Like I said, this is my price play today.
All right, let's turn the page and take a look at race number 6 before we go to our break. 6th race is the Rampart, $100,000 up for grabs. These are the fillies and mares going the one-turn mile.
3-6-1 for me, and it's just a pace play. Dance Doro just looks loose in here. She regressed off the huge return 2 back, but this daughter of Medaglia Doro is very, very fast. You look through the rest of this field, there's no other pace at all. Not only is there no other pace, a lot of these, or several of these, want to just come from way out of it. Dance Doro's got a great shot to get a stakes win today, and I like her. She's loose on the lead. She's 3 for 8 over the Gulfstream Park main track. She's 3 for 6 at a mile, so she looks good to me. On the engine, Dream Marie is at a tactical disadvantage, though I think she is the best horse in this field. She's got stakes form. She's got graded stakes form. She's a really, really nice daughter of Gradar that Matt Williams has done a good job with. Down inside, All Worthy for Safi. We'll toss the grade 1 Cotillion. The Charlestown Oaks, don't forget, that was 2 turns on probably the most inside speed bias track you'll ever see in your life that night at Charlestown. That was Charlestown Classic night. So she ran well to come from out of it behind a next out winner. Our Adios it was undefeated at the time. So she's in the mix too, but I just like the loose, lonely lead angle for Dance Dora. We'll call it 3-6 over the 1 as we get the rainbow started too, Seth.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we will take a look at the late pick 5 and more stakes action from Gulfstream. Stay tuned.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on Saturday morning. Seth Merrow and Brian Nadeau. We are in the midst of a Gulfstream card, a really nice Saturday Gulfstream card. We'll continue with race number 7. Bottom-ish level claimers at the $10,000 level. They're on the Tabita at about 5.5 furlongs.
Yeah, they don't make it easy for us to kick off this late pick 5, Seth. And I'll have it on Twitter later. My ticket for Gulfstream, he's literally using all of them in here because I don't have a strong opinion in here. The order for me on the 1 sheet is 7, 10, 6, 11, 5. The dart lands on Allegedly Perfect for Gilberto Zerpa and Jaramillo. And we've got good Tapeta form here. I think it's a little bit of a class drop, second off the claim, has speed. So allegedly perfect on top, but it's like you can tell, I don't have an opinion here. Earth is another dropper for Jenna Antonucci with good Tapeta form and has run over the surface 3 times. Number 6, Star Weaver, goes off the claim for Jorge Delgado, 29%. He's 31% on the Tapeta, on the synthetics, I should say. Luis Saez is here, and you got to take notes, Seth. I'm sure you've seen it. Horses that Kieran McLaughlin is getting Luis Saez on because it's significant. He's not riding just to ride. He's riding live horses, and when you see, Jorge Delgado typically is going to ride Chantel Sutherland, and so here's Luis Saez popping up on Star Weaver. You're allowed to think, you know what, it's go time today. So things like that are something you have to pay attention to. Hurricane Hill, I don't know what to make with him on the drop for Bill Mott from turf to Tapeta. 2 turns last time against Better at Gulfstream. I think he's a player. If nothing else, Marcelino at a price is in the mix. Stubbed his toe last time. The run 2 back was very, very good. Seth, there's 7 of them I didn't name, and I'm using them because I have no strong opinion. And to me, this looks like a race where you could have a $48 winner.
8th race this afternoon, we are back to stakes action in the Sugar Swirl. These are fillies and mares, grade 3 event, $100,000 up for grabs, a 6-furlong sprint.
This is my best bet of the day, 7-3. That's it. Bronx Beauty. There is so much speed in here, Seth. It looks suicidal on the front end. Something has got to give in here. And Bronx Beauty took the blinkers off last time at Monmouth and came from way back. I know they went 44-1. I don't care. That's hard to do at Monmouth to close like that, going 6 furlongs. The blinkers went off. She ran a 1 last time on the thoroughgraphs. And yeah, she might regress. If she runs a 1 in here, she's going to win comfortably. And I like the spacing that Anthony Margata has given her. That race was September 6th. Now she pops up in a grade 3 at Gulfstream on December 18th. To me, she's in a great spot in here with all the speed, and I'm just hoping she mows them down. Frank's Rocket is the horse to beat. She's the best horse. She's the most likely winner. She is 1 for 1 at Gulfstream, and she's got a hint of a rating gear too. Listen, I get all of it. She never really wins, and her only win this year, her only win of late is over 3 rivals at Prairie Meadows. So I don't know, Seth. I don't want a short number on her. I say tread very, very lightly. She doesn't have really an edge over these, so I put her in second. It's just 7-3 right to the hoop for me, Seth. Bronx Beauty from off the pace in a race that looks like it's going to have hellacious splits up front.
We move on now to race number 9, more stakes action in the Harlan's Holiday. Grade 3 event, $150,000 up for grabs here. They will travel 8.5 furlongs.
1-6 over the 3. I'm hoping that Mighty Heart might just get overlooked a little bit because of the Tapeta form. And I think a lot of people perceive him, he won the Queen's Plate. I think people perceive him as a synthetic horse. You go back and you look at his main track dirt races, they are really good, Seth. And they're as good as anybody has in here. He's well drawn. He's tactical. He can be placed anywhere. John Velasquez will have him involved early and often. And I think he catches this group at the right time because there's not a lot in here. And Fearless, who, is the horse to beat and is the best horse. He's 3 for 4 at Gulfstream. I didn't think he ran very well last time, Seth, to be perfectly honest with you. I made the morning line that day, and I made him 3 to 5. They didn't really bet him. Girolamo's attack for Safi, who's in good form. Don't get me wrong. They were actually co-favored at 1.1 to 1. 83 Buyer. Yes, it was his first start since May. It was at a mile. Now he gets back out to 2 turns. I get it all, but I was not impressed that day. Maybe he needed the race. Maybe he'll get back to his best. And if he does, he's going to win. I just didn't want to take a short number on him on top, so I put him underneath. South Bend is in the mix for Bill Mott and Tyler Gaffalione. 20 twice. If he runs back to the race 2 back, I know he was 6, but it was a fast race for the level behind Old Luminary. It's a solid effort. He didn't run last time. So I do think it's 1-6, 6-1. I'll go with Mighty Heart.
I like Mighty Heart just as a racehorse. Easy to root for Josie Carroll. She's always been good to us as far as interviews when we visited Woodbine. But yeah, the Queen's Plate winner, and as you say, may get overlooked with that synthetic form. But with the late start to Woodbine this year, she was kind of forced to look for some other spots for this. And that win down at Churchill says the main track should be fine. And I'm kind of with you on Fearless in that, yeah, might have needed the comebacker, but the comeback buyer was the second worst of the career. And the horse has come back from a layoff and fired much better numbers. So that effort last time, we'll see. I mean, it's a talented horse, but it's certainly you can't be inspired by that try last time.
I agree with everything you said, Seth. He's got to prove it today. He's got to step up, and until he does, I'm willing to fade him a little bit myself.
The 10th at Gulfstream, the Fort Lauderdale Grade 2 event, couple $100,000 up for grabs. 3-year-olds and up, they're on the grass at 1 1/8 miles.
And, Seth, we haven't really mentioned it. These races are preps for Pegasus World Cup Day. The Harlan's Holiday is the local prep for the Pegasus World Cup. The Swanee River is now the prep for the newly minted Gulfstream Park Filly and Mare Turf. And then, of course, the Fort Lauderdale for the Gulfstream Park Turf, Pegasus Turf. And this is a good race. This is the race of the day. This is the feature. This is the Grade 2. And it came up a real beauty. And it's tough. Chad's got a couple in here. Chad's going to run his first horses of the meet today, by the way. So, take note of that. For Chad and Shug's got runners in here. Space Travelers on the outside for Brendan Walsh. Clearly, to me, the horse to beat. I know Pete did make him the morning line favorite, and him and I talked about this. It's more because of the post. Post can be problematic for Space Traveler. He doesn't really win that often either, but he is the class coming out of those grade and Group 1 wins. I think he's a must-use. I went with, I guess I'll call him the other Chad, Analyze It. It's for Bill Lawrence. 8-12-2-1 for me. Analyze It. I'm going to use King Guillermo. I almost picked him on top. I didn't have the, we'll call it the stones to do it. I think he's loose in here under Paco. I don't know if he can win. He is on my late pick 5 ticket as an A. But the reason why I picked Analyze It is because I think Rafael Hernandez will have Analyze It right off of King Guillermo. And in turn, that's going to get him first run off the far turn, first run on L'Imperator for Chad, first run on Space Traveler for Brendan Walsh. That's why I went with Analyze It. I don't think he's as good a horse as Space Traveler, but I think from a flow perspective today, Seth, he gets first run, and I'm hoping he opens up off the far turn. He lasts to the line. I don't know if he can get 9 furlongs. It's not his ideal trip, but this is a speedy, fast, hard Gulfstream Park turf course that can help horses get more distance, and maybe they're usually at their best. So I'm going to put Analyze It on top. Space Traveler, look at, you see him, Seth. I mean, Arlington Million or Mr. D, the Woodbine Mile, the Keeneland Turf Mile, the Sussex States over in Europe. He's run well in all of them. He's clearly the horse to beat. The other thing I like too, Seth, he's run well, and he's run all his races without Lasix. A lot of these horses now coming off Lasix today, unproven off Lasix. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't have to worry about it with Space Traveler. What you do have to worry about is a hard, firm turf course with him coming from out of the clouds. A bad post, too. That's why I put him in second. L'Imperator, he's a little Jekyll and Hyde, isn't he? He runs so big off the bench for Chad, then he fails at odds on in the 4-horse Baruch. He gets back on the beam last time. They didn't really bet him, shockingly. What do you get today? Well, he is well drawn. He's going to be tactical, so I think he's a player. Doswell down inside. Barkley Tag's horses are running. He got a win with Ombre the other day. He just missed after that. He's in the mix too. And like I said, I am using King Guillermo. Don't forget, this used to be a turf horse before he won his Triple Crown prep. Everybody thought he was a turf horse. He's not bad. He got his prep out of the way last time. I think he's the controlling speed in here, Seth, at a huge number. Don't sleep on him. I would definitely say, if nothing else, use him as a saver, because I think he's going to fire a big shot today.
Yeah, and the bullet workout leading into this may be tipping their hand a little bit. But you're right about Space Travel. 1 1/8 miles on the grass. He is up against it, leaving from that outside post. All right, we will take a look at the finale, which will go off a little after 5 o'clock this afternoon. Maiden specials. These are 2-year-olds. They're on the turf course at 1 1/16 miles.
It's just 9 over the 5-4. I will say this, Seth. If the 10 Hail to Thee gets in, this horse can run a little bit, supposedly. Take note. But right now he's an AE as we only go with 9 with these 2-year-olds. Ridley's Major was a troubled fourth on debut for Chad. His stablemate, somehow a Chad Seth Klarman horse, won that race at 22-1, Seth. That's impossible. This horse, the Dam, is a half the rail trip, who won over $1.5 million out west for Ron Ellis, and I think he went somewhere else, but he's a grade 1 winner. I think he was a grade 1 winner, multiple graded stakes winner, albeit on the dirt. But I would think you get improvement today from Ridley's Major, and I think that's enough to get it done, because the rest of this field, at least in the afternoon, hasn't shown a lot. Misbehaved, got to turf last time for Todd, didn't really fire. He's going to put the blinkers on with Saez. Jukebox Juju, the second foal out of an unraced Dam. Mike Stidham firster, 17% for Mike on debut. I don't think, he might not think that, but Mike does a good job on debut. The Dam, 3 for 27, earned $190,000 the hard way. Let's watch one maybe. I think Ridley's Major's in a good spot here, Seth. That's my single to end this card.
All right, that wraps up Gulfstream. Nice stakes card at Gulfstream on this Saturday afternoon. We will take a break, come back, shift our attention to Aqueduct. They have a couple of New York Stallion Series stakes races, rich New York Stallion Series stakes races. We'll look at that right after this. Stay tuned.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. In front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Falbrough. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish in the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
The Clubhouse Racebook is the Capital Region's new home for racing and sports. 25,000 square feet of Vegas-style action with live wagering on the best horse racing from around the world. 260 flat-screen televisions and state-of-the-art wagering terminals. So don't miss out. The fun is only minutes away at 711 Central Avenue, Albany, just off exit 5 of I-90. And don't forget, if you can't make it to the Clubhouse, you can always wager online 24/7 at capitalotv.com.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. Brian and Seth with you on a stakes-laden Saturday. We got Pegasus World Cup Preview Day down here at Gulfstream Park. 4 graded stakes, 5 stakes overall. And Seth hinted at it going to the break, and he said a couple of pricey state-bred stakes in New York. And I admittedly, I'm not doing the work at Aqueduct as I used to do. So I thumbed through it and I said, "Holy cow!"
Making it rain. Making it rain in New York.
$500,000 for the state breds. Good for them. So they're coming up later. That's got to be the biggest ever. I mean, the Albany, I think, in the Empire Classics, like 300,000. So it's a 2-year-old's world these days that we're living in. And there you go, right there, $1 million on the line. We will kick it off at 12:20 in the PM. We go a flat mile. These are 2-year-olds, maiden special weight in the first.
Speaking of Chad and Klarovich, we won't get that 20-1 or the huge mutual, but I think early voting could be interesting coming out. First time for that team. I have it 7-5-4-1, and I'll ask you, as I'm handicapping these 2-year-old races, particularly at this, the last month and a half or so, but even earlier, when you're looking at and runners there, aren't you now just automatically? I mean, he's just off to a phenomenal start as a sire.
I mean, I think you have to take there's no doubt about it. This is the quintessential Chad Seth Klarman horse. And I love this because, Seth Klarman, he's literally worth $1 billion or more. He's like on the Forbes list. But so my point is, they could spend any amount of money he wants. But here's a gun runner that they spent $200,000 for. And listen, to me and you, that's an astronomical amount of money. But the program for Chad and Seth Klarman 300's a lot of money. He doesn't get out of that comfort zone. And for all these horses and all the success that they've had, they're right in this 150, 250 kind of wheelhouse. And I just have a lot of respect for the job that, the program that he does, because he could easily be bidding. Here's a Godolpho. This is a homebred next door, iconic adventure. But he could be bidding with the Sheik if he wants to, and he doesn't do that. He buys these horses at cookie cutter prices for the most part for him, and they get so much value out of these horses that are in the $200,000 range. And I think it's really cool because he doesn't get out of his comfort level. Even though if he wanted to, he could spend more than anybody. And I have a lot of respect for the job that he does.
And year in and year out in New York, he's just phenomenal. And since he's teamed up with Chad, it's just, I always look at them with first-time starters to begin with. I think they're always well-meant first time out. But then you add in Gunrunner. The Dam is a half-sister to Spitestown. I just think there's a lot of win early here. What I like to call the nature and the nurture on the team and the human team and certainly the breeding side. So I'll go with early voting on top. My brother Cam in the second spot. Debut for Michael Dickinson on the turf, but by Malibu Moon and showed some speed, had a little trouble that day. I'm not going to be shocked if this horse shows a nice effort with the move to the dirt this afternoon and the cut back to the 1-turn mile. Violence is another sire I like quite a bit as a win early sire. Hasn't gotten it done yet in 3 starts. Matt Doyle, the number 4 horse. But been knocking at the door the last couple of starts. The first 2 buyers were pretty good for a 2-year-old at this time of year. And so I think this horse has the potential to be intriguing in here as well. Bill Mott on the inside has Solfero, who, again, I think, like my brother Cam, might be a little bit interesting with the move to dirt and the cut back to the 1-turn mile. But I'll take the Chad Klarovich runner on top. The opener, 7, 5, 4, and 1.
Early pick 4 time in the second. It's a $40,000 2L for 3 and up. We go 7 furlongs.
I'm going to go Chad and Klarovich in the early double. 6, 7, 5, and 2. Sound money on top. Nice maiden breaker at Monmouth 2 back, and then they went down to Parks and tried Allowance Company. Well beaten that day. But the buyers this horse is firing have an edge on this bunch. Now, they broke the maiden at Monmouth, then went to Parks, so this is not at the top of the list of the Chad Klarovich runners, but that is indicated by we're returning to New York and dropping in for a conditional claiming tag. So I think there'll be a cozy fit with this bunch this afternoon. Second slot, great workout. Made the move that I really like. I talk about it all the time. Made the move last time from state bred allowance into an open claimer, an open conditional claimer, even better. Was favored that day and wound up 4th, but claimed, moves into the barn of Rob Atras. And I'm going to give this one another shot on that class move that I like quite a bit. Didn't live up to it last time, but I'll go with it again off the claim. And then Good Culture in the 3rd spot. I thought there were some back numbers that are okay. Popular at the claim box, goes into the barn of Gustavo Rodriguez, limited sample, but okay off the claim, and we'll see if this one can get back to some of those better numbers. Does add the blinkers today as well. Second race at Aqueduct, 6, 7, 5, and 2.
Race 3 is a 2-year-old maiden claimer that is $30,000. We go back to that 1-turn mile on the main track.
6, 7, 9, and 5. Number 6 is St. Luke's. Rudy Rodriguez runner. Stepping out of Maiden Special Company. The debut was one of those restricted maiden specials up at Saratoga based on the auction price. Then they went into an open maiden claimer. The number improved, finishing position not so much. They come back today as a first-time gelding and in for a tag. Tapiture is on top. I think there's a little breeding here. I think this horse is talented enough that maybe the first 2 will provide some education to move forward from with this class relief today. I'll put that one on top. I don't know if I'd want too short a price. This is the morning line fee at 8 to 5. And I can see the horse ticking down because of those that have run so far. This one does clearly have the best numbers, other than our Vindicated. who I have down in the second slot. So I can see that St. Luke's taking some money. But again, off the first two, I wouldn't want too short of a price. Our Vindicated, the number 7 horse, debuted on the turf, ran okay, now comes back on the dirt, and it may just be one of those experiments. It's that time of year. We're going to take a shot. But there were a couple of workouts underneath that said maybe this won't be a bad move. So I put that one in the mix as well. And then Illustrious off the claim moves into the Tom Morley barn. He does okay off the claim, and I thought this one off of that last effort down at Keeneland could be a little bit interesting as well. Third at Aqueduct, 6, 7, 9, and 5.
We'll get one more in for the break here. The fourth is an optional claimer for 3 and up. The tag 62.5. It's a 2X going 6.5. I'll hand it over to you and say good luck to you and everybody back home, playing at home in those rich stakes at Aqueduct and the 5-pack we have at Downstream Park today. You know, a lot to look forward to, not only today, but these are days where you look forward what they mean in the future as well, both in New York and in Florida. So good luck, and catch up with you actually in 2 weeks, because we won't be on next Saturday.
Yeah. Happy holidays to you and everybody down there.
Yes. Happy holidays to you and everybody at OTB. Guys, I love you guys, and everybody back home as well. Have a good Christmas. We'll see you in 2 weeks, I guess.
I know you have said you've seen Roddy Valente down there. If you see him today, wish him luck in the New York Stallion Series. He's going for that 500K in race number 6. And I'll mention it's a fan appreciation day here at the Racebook. The first 75 people through the door get a free $2 bet on Bustin' Pietre for Roddy Valente. So we're rooting for him in race number 6. If you see him today, wish him good luck.
I've shot him once or twice down here. I think he's actually, I got a feeling he might be at Aqueduct today, because when we talked last week, I kind of think he got stuck down here, actually. Couldn't get a flight back home or something like that. So I haven't seen him this week. So I think he might be back, and I would think for 500 large, he's probably at Aqueduct.
Yeah, wouldn't shock me at all. All right, Brian, take it easy. Happy holidays. The fourth at Aqueduct, I have it 1, 6, 9, and 4. I'll put Happy Medium on top. I'm kind of chalking out early here, but it's just horses that kind of look like they have the edge. The 103 Buyer 2-back is just too good to ignore. The Buyer went backwards last time, but went backwards, and horse still won by open length. So I think Happy Medium certainly makes sense. What do you think now? Comes off a nice win off a little bit of a late summer, early fall layoff. It was with a number that matches up with a couple of the numbers of the top pick. So best effort from this one. Jose Ortiz on board. I think that one is certainly playable for Rudy Rodriguez. And Mr. Phil, if you want to, toss a little price in the mix, 10-1 on the morning line. And I think, you have to go down the page a little bit, but there are numbers that match up kind of with the top two. And overall, the last few efforts haven't been great, but they've been okay. And again, this horse bounces back to a better effort, becomes playable on the numbers in this mix. Same with Foolish Ghost, 12-1 on the morning line for Ray Handel. There are some back numbers that are okay. The last two, not so much so, but those were in stakes races as well. So I could see a rebound for Foolish Ghost also. In the fourth at Aqueduct, I have it 1, 6, 9, and 4. Fifth race at Aqueduct this afternoon, State Bred Maiden Specials. These are 2-year-olds going 3/4 of a mile. I have a 3, 7, 5, and 6. Golden Code goes out for Todd Pletcher by Honor Code. Honor Code this year, 76 first-time starters, 7 wins, 4 seconds, 8 thirds. There's a sibling called Manifest Destiny that won its career debut. Another sibling called Retinova that won the first 2 of the career, including a stakes race. So I thought there was some nice win early breeding. Certainly Todd Pletcher can have them ready. Golden Code on top. Bold Journey goes out for Bill Mott off a decent-looking debut. That was well in the barn of Carlos Martin. Moves over to Bill Mott, but off the debut effort, blinkers on today along with Jose Ortiz. This is the even money favorite. Deservedly so, off the number and the second-place finish in the debut. But I just think with the breeding, Golden Code may be nice and nice in debut. So I'll go with that one over Bold Journey. And then Bench Walk by Bernardini, a little bit of breeding there. String of workouts that are okay. Could be interesting for Rudy first out. Kelly Breen has one by Classic Empire, Burt, that also could be interesting in debut. So in the fifth at Aqueduct, kicking off late pick 5 action, 3, 7, 5, and 6. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up and take a look at the last few from Aqueduct. Stay tuned.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the Capital Region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now. Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Saturday morning. Seth Merrow in the studio. Sixth race today kicks off late pick 4 action. It is the New York Stallion Series. As mentioned earlier, $500,000 up for grabs for the 2-year-olds that are eligible for the Stallion Series. Stallion Series aren't all New York breds, and I'm just looking in this race. Stallion Series refers to, obviously, New York sires. There is a Florida bred in this first event. All the others are New York breds. I think in the second one, I was pretty sure there was a Kentucky bred in there. Let me just double check that a little bit. There's a second New York Stallion Series a little bit later. And as I said, but Pennsylvania bred in that one. And then maybe that's the one I said. So pretty much they are mainly New York breds this afternoon, but that's not a requirement to be eligible for these New York Stallion Series. In this sixth race, however, I have a 2, 6, 3, and 8. I mentioned earlier our friend Roddy Valente has Bustin' Pietre in here off a nice maiden breaker in the debut for a $50,000 tag. And then they tried a stakes race last time and ran a okay second. Well behind Senabe, who should be a nice one. A couple of races at 6 furlongs, stretches to the 7 today. I kind of like that. But mostly I put Bustin' Pietre, and again I have a 2, 6, 3, and 8. Mostly I put Bustin' Pietre on top because has some proven dirt form. I had Gino in the second spot at 9-2, the second choice on the morning line, 7-2. There's two 9-2 co-second choices. The favorite on the morning line at 7-2, Masetta. Both Gino and Masetta, they've got turf form, good turf form, and if they translate to the dirt, they may wind up being the ones to beat. But again, I'll go with the horse that has the proven dirt form. We'll put 2 on top. Then I went with Gino and Masetta in the second and third places. Gino comes out of a maiden breaker in debut, close-up second in the second start, which was a stakes race. And then last time, excuse me, a little bit of a dud. But again, all 3 of those were on the turf. Masetta third, then broke the maiden, and then a third-place finish in a stakes race last time with nice improving numbers in the first 3 starts. But again, both of these move over and try the dirt. You get it. They're putting $500,000 up for grabs. If I have a talented horse, even if I think, he's probably better on turf, I'm taking my shot for the price. But as I say, I'll go with the dirt performer on top. Stir to Pot, I think, could be very interesting coming in from Churchill. This, again, is the Florida bred in the field. And so, didn't start the career going after state-bred stakes racers or state-bred maiden races. Was in a maiden race down at Churchill, and I always say that late fall Churchill meet, the 2-year-old race, is very salty, and this one ran a decent little second with an okay buyer, but I thought Stir the Pot could be interesting at a price in here if you're looking for that kind of an alternative. Kicking off pick 4 action, race number 6. I have a 2, 6, 3, and 8. 7th race at Aqueduct on Saturday. Starter allowance at the $50,000 level. I have at 9, the 1 entry, 7, and 4. I'll put Royal Realm on top. Just kind of knocking at the door for Rick Schosberg over the past couple. 2 starts back was claimed. So knocking at the door that day for Dave Donk. Claimed they moved the horse into this starter allowance level and ran a pretty good second, again, with a buyer that improved. And third, 2 starts back, now second. And I just thought off the last effort, this horse in a pretty good spot. Trevor McCarthy on board this afternoon. Second slot, the 1 entry, Blake B. and Corkman. They're pretty evenly matched, I think. I mean, I don't know, normally or often with an entry, one definitely will stand out versus the other. For me, on the recent form, it would definitely be Corkman. But I think overall, you look at the form, both of these are very competitive with this group this afternoon, and both step out of claimed races. Linda Rice very good off the claim. And again, I think class-wise, they're going to match up nicely with this group as well. So the 1 entry, as they say, look kind of evenly matched to me, and both should be competitive. No Burn, claim 2 back out of a maiden breaker, a very easy maiden breaker. Was racing that day for Lee Einsiedler and Bill Mott. Got claimed away for $40,000. Then they moved into this starter allowance category. Showed some punch early before fading late. Off of that one, I wouldn't be surprised if the horse is maybe a little tighter and runs a little bit better this afternoon. 7th at Aqueduct, 9, the 1 entry, 7 and 4. Aqueduct's race number 8. Again, the second of the New York Stallion Series races. Again, $500,000 up for grabs. These are for the 2-year-old fillies that are eligible for these Stallion Series races. 7 furlongs the trip, like the earlier stake. I have a 3, 6, 7, and 9. I thought the 5 was Yo Cuz was also playable. Only the 1 start so far, and it was a 5th place finish, but has been working well for Bill Mott. Jose Ortiz on board. Local owners with the Dreammaker Racing. Yo Cuz. Wouldn't argue against that one, the 5. But I went 3, 6, 7, and 9. I put Leoban's Legacy on top. 8-1 on the morning line. I'm going to be really intrigued to see what we get at post time. Morning matchup, I get it off the last couple, particularly the last race. They were both down at Parks, however. Let's get the horse to beat off the last race, morning matchup. But I think when you look at the rest of the field, and even most of the numbers morning matchup is firing, I think Leoban's Legacy is a solid match with this group. And as I say, even morning matchup past the last number that one fired. Leoban's Legacy, a couple of starts against Stakebreds up at Saratoga, a win in the career debut, a 3rd in the stakes race. Then they shipped down to Laurel and took a shot in an optional claimer and ran an okay 2nd that day. I think at the 8-1 morning line, Leoban's Legacy, very interesting. Then morning match, as I said, probably the horse to beat. Have that one down in the 2nd spot. And how do you make your money in the 3rd spot? Mike Trombetta, runner that debuted up at Saratoga on the dirt, ran 4th, but it was okay. And a lot of times horses just improve with the start under the belt. So did this horse get better with experience or with the surface switch? Because the subsequent 3 races were turf and or synthetic. Returns to the dirt today. I'm hoping the horse has just gotten better with experience. And if that's the case, I think how do you make your money is very playable. And with this bunch this afternoon, 8th at Aqueduct, I have a 3, 6, 7, and 9. And we wrap up the action at Aqueduct today just a little after 4 o'clock with race number 9, State-Bred Allowance, non-winners of 1. I have it 1, 3, 5, and 2. Another race where I can make a case outside of my mix at 8-1. Tapazirance is one I looked at and debated pulling in the mix. Second off the claim for Linda Rice. I think the 12 is playable. But again, I went 1, 3, 5, and 2. I put Debo on top, Jeff Engelhart, trainee. has been racing in this company, this type of company, in the last couple of races up at Finger Lakes, and I've said it the last couple of weeks. Finger Lake shippers normally going to New York, I'm kind of like, it's a venue move that is a negative to me. I like it the other way. I like the move from downstate to upstate, but Finger Lakes to Naira, not so much. But this time of year, it's a little more potent, and these Finger Lake shippers, as their season is ended and they come down, are going to be competitive with the horses running in New York this winter. This may be one of them. Raven Rock's in the second spot. Claimed last time out of a win for a 25 N2L. Does step up into state bred allowance, which I've kind of alluded to it earlier today. That's a move that I think is a little bit of a negative. But this horse has run fairly competitively against this type earlier on the PPs. And this is the third start back from a layoff. So I'm kind of combining, the return to this state bred, the build-up of fitness over the first couple of starts back, claimed and moves into the George Weaver barn. He's okay first off the claim. So Raven Rock's in there. And Johnny Fontaine, 20-1 on the morning line, comes down from Finger Lakes. 5 starts, 4 exacta finishes. This may be one of those horses that, because of the Finger Lakes form, gets overlooked a little bit, but it's hard to overlook 4 for 5 in the exacta so far in the career. And if we get that 20-1, Johnny Fontaine to me becomes very playable, certainly in the triple and whatnot. In the ninth at Aqueduct, 1, 3, 5, and 2. All right, that takes us through not only Gulfstream, but Aqueduct. As always, you can go to the website, pull up the one sheet, nice printable page with all the selections on there, capitalotb.com. Click on the handicapping link, then the handicapper support, and you can pull up that one sheet on each and every day. Once again, we want to thank our friends at Gulfstream for their sponsorship of this program, some of the other programming and events here at Capital OTB during their championship meet. Thanks to the folks at Gulfstream for their sponsorship. I alluded to it a few minutes ago, Fan Appreciation Day here at the clubhouse. First 75 folks through the door will get a $2 bet on Bustin' Pietre, 8-1 on the morning line, so that should be fun to root for local owner Roddy Valente. Also here at the Clubhouse Racebook today, play the board contest. If you've never tried it, come on down and give it a shot. It's a lot of fun. You can, what you have to do, there are 5 races, and it's a different type of a wager in each race, and you make your selections, and at the end of the day, the person who's done the best winds up with $75, second best $25, but it's a lot of fun. You have to kind of be clever and think about it a little bit. Play the board contest today at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. All right, I'm going to wrap it up at the top of the hour, just a couple of minutes away, racing across America. We will be joined by Acacia Courtney. We'll go through, again, those stakes at Gulfstream, get some of her ideas on the action down in Florida today. And we'll also be joined by Dale Day, the track announcer and handicapper out at Remington Park. We'll kind of get a little recap on their season that wrapped up last night, and also take a look back at last night's stakes races, highlighted by the nice little late season 2-year-old race, the Springboard Mile. All of that coming up in a few. Stay tuned.
You're watching OTB TV, a service of Capital Off Track Betting.